Good morning and welcome to Ellon Academy's virtual assembly for Monday the 6th of September 2021. So now that we've come back after the summer, we plan to reintroduce the Ellon Academy Learner Walk. And the reason that we're doing that is the why part of this slide, but the how is that senior leaders, that's myself and the deputy heads, are going to be conducting learner walks around the school. And we're doing this so that we can take the temperature of attitudes to learning and classroom conduct as you go through your lessons. Now, the whole premise of the learner mark is to recognise effort. Not everybody can be first in the class for everything, but if young people give the correct amount of effort, that will inevitably lead to progress. And having that growth mindset about trying and keeping going and learning from mistakes is really, really important, particularly if you are now in S4, S5 and S6, because we don't know what the future will hold this year in terms of exams, or will it be continual assessment or assessment blocks like we had in the past. So particularly for fourth year, who you're just into your certificate classes, this is really, really important for you to develop the right attitude to learning now so that it doesn't become a scramble and a source of anxiety when we get to potentially prelims or whatever that assessment might look like in January, and also in May if there are actual exams or continual assessment as we had last year. It's also recognition for hard work and effort, which again, studies show lead to progress, and the data that we will gather, we hope will support a reduction in behaviour concerns. So this is what it looks like. It's on the wall of most classrooms and teaching spaces, and there are 5 parts to it. And it starts really in chronological order, which means that it comes first by time. So if you're punctual, and for those of you that don't know what punctual means, it means being on time. And you know we've had a push on late coming over the past 2 to 3 weeks. So if you're on time for your class, that's really excellent. It shows a good attitude to learning. If you are prepared for your class, that you've got all of the things that you need that will support your learning, that also demonstrates a positive attitude to your work. Participating means taking part, and that means joining in the lesson, making sure you're attempting everything that comes your way in terms of activities and tasks and homework that's been set. If you persevere, that means you're trying and you don't give up at the first hurdle. You keep trying. And that again is another key skill that particularly senior pupils will need this year. And if you do the first 4, you will inevitably be progressing. So if a member of senior leadership comes into your class and asks your teacher what the learner mark for this class is at this particular snapshot in time, if the teacher says, well, they're absolutely working at level 1, this means you've achieved all 5 of those pillars for successful learning. And that's the whole class as a collective. If your teacher says, well, they're round about 2, 3, that means some of the learners in the class are not achieving one of those 5 pillars. So they might not have been on time, they might not have been prepared for the lesson, they might not be participating or trying, and therefore they won't be progressing. So we'll be recording the data that we take as we go round each class in the school, and that will help us to inform a few things. So that we take a class average every time we do a learner walk, and if all of the classes that we've been in to see have level 1 for all of the classes, that means we've got what we call a golden lesson, which means that all of the classes visited on that day at that period in time have been doing really well and demonstrating excellent attitudes to learning. We're going to gather this data and analyse it across the school, and Mr. Carey's been very helpful in putting together a spreadsheet for SLT to be able to manage this data. And senior leaders will look at this data and discuss it with house teams, and we'll analyse that and target support to young people that might need some extra help in helping them to be prepared for learning. And it's very simple and straightforward, but it's the simple and straightforward things that add up to success.